What if the next world-changing event wasn't triggered by a missile, but by a single, perfectly fake image? It sounds like sci-fi, but it's the world we're in right now. AI has given us this incredible and, frankly, terrifying power to create deception so good it's almost impossible to spot. So today, we're going to dig in. How did we get here, and what on earth do we do about it?
Okay, just look at this picture. For a few heart-pounding minutes, this is what everyone thought was happening: an attack on the Pentagon. The stock market literally nosedived because this one image just spread like wildfire. But the smoke, the chaos, all of it, it wasn't real. It was a ghost, a phantom cooked up by an algorithm. This wasn't just some prank. It was proof of how fragile our reality is. So how is it possible that a few lines of code can rattle the global economy?
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start by looking back at the long history of faking it, because this is nothing new. Then, we'll break down the difference between cheap fakes and deep fakes. After that, we'll see more of these fakes out in the real world, figure out who's pulling the strings, and finally, talk about how we can even begin to fight back.
To really get what's happening now, we have to rewind the clock a bit. Turns out, this whole idea of bending the truth to your will, well, it's been around for a while.
For centuries, faking an image was a real craft, right? It took skill, patience, a steady hand. But today, AI has completely changed the game. What used to take a master forger weeks can now be whipped up in seconds by pretty much anyone. The scale of deception has gone from, a small workshop to a massive global factory.
And you can really see this evolution right here. It starts way back in 1865 with staging a photo by, moving a dead body. Then we jump forward and we're digitally adding a missile in 2008 to hide a failed launch. But 2019? That's the real watershed moment, when the word deepfake goes mainstream. We're not just tweaking reality anymore. We are literally creating it out of thin air.
So that brings us to today's toolkit of deception. You've definitely heard these words thrown around, but let's actually get clear on what we're talking about.
So, the umbrella term for all of this is digital content forgery. It's really simple. Any media, a photo, a sound clip, a video, that's been messed with or made up entirely just to fool you. And this world of forgery really splits into two main camps. On one side, you've got the low-tech, sometimes clumsy, cheap fix. And on the other, the super sophisticated AI-powered deep fix. The real difference is what's under the hood.
So let's really break it down. A cheap fake is all about altering what's already there. Think basic Photoshop or taking a video and slowing it down to make someone look bad. It's a trick. But a deep fake, that's about creating something brand new. It's not an edit of reality. It's a completely synthetic reality, born from nothing but data. And that is a massive, massive leap.
Which, of course, leads to the big question. How in the world does a machine just invent something that looks so real from absolutely nothing?
Well, one of the most popular ways it does this is with something called a diffusion model. The easiest way to get your head around it is to imagine the AI learns how to paint a masterpiece by first watching one get totally destroyed.
Okay, think of it like this. Imagine an art restorer, but to learn their job, they first watch a perfect painting get covered layer by layer with dust and static until it's just a big blur. They study every single step of that destruction. Then they train and train to perfectly reverse the process, to remove each speck of dust to get back to the original. Once they've got that down, you can hand them a canvas of pure random static and they can clean it into a brand new masterpiece just based on what you tell them you want. That's pretty much what a diffusion model is doing, but with pixels.
Okay, so we've got a handle on the tech. Now let's see how it's actually being used out there in the wild to cause chaos, to divide us, and to deceive us.
Let's go back to that fake Pentagon explosion. We now know it was a deep fake, almost certainly made by a diffusion model. And the impact wasn't just about some investors losing money. No, this was about shaking the very foundation of trust in what we see. I mean, if you can't trust your own eyes, what's left?
And this stuff doesn't just mess with our wallets. It goes straight for the heart. During the horrific Maui wildfires, while real people were frantically looking for their families, the internet got flooded with fake images like this one. It just added this unbelievable layer of cruel confusion on top of an already awful tragedy. And this is where it gets really, genuinely terrifying. A fake video, crafted to look like an act of war. And the goal? To push nations with nuclear weapons closer to conflict. We're way past misinformation here. This is deception as a weapon.
So, who is making this stuff? Who is behind this weaponized deception? Well, the list is pretty long, and the motives range from simple online trolling all the way up to full-blown geopolitical strategy.
Yeah, so who are we talking about? Think of it like a ladder. On the bottom rung, you've got your everyday trolls and online harassers. Climb up a bit. You find organized crime using this tech for really sophisticated scams. A little higher, you have conspiracy theorists who are literally building their own realities. And at the very top, the most powerful players, governments, using deepfakes as a 21st century weapon.
And let's put a name and a face to that top-tier threat. A major state player that's been pioneering this kind of stuff is Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or the IRGC. And this isn't just an army. It's practically a state within a state with its own cyber warfare division.
And within the IRGC, there's a dedicated cybersecurity command working around the clock. Their goal isn't to hack your bank account, it's to hack your perception of reality. They use AI to create chaos, to turn people against each other, to make you question the very idea of truth. It's warfare, but the battlefield is your social media feed.
So is that it? Are we just doomed to live in a world of digital lies? Well, maybe not. The fight to take back reality is on, and it's happening on a lot of different fronts.
The best way to think about this is like we're building a digital immune system. The first layer is provenance, basically a birth certificate for every piece of media, so we know where it came from. The second is watermarking, like a hidden fingerprint that proves it's authentic. The third is automated detection, using good AI to hunt down its evil twin. And finally, the most critical part, us. We all have to become digital detectives, armed with critical thinking and a healthy dose of skepticism.
And as this quote from a Department of Homeland Security report makes really clear, there's no magic solution here. This is a constant cat-and-mouse game, and the technology for fakes is getting better every single day. We can't just build a wall and call it a day. We have to build a defense that can learn and adapt just as fast as the threat does.
So this is the question that keeps me up at night. What happens when the fakes are perfect? When there are no more little glitches for the AI to spot? Will some new technology save us? Or are we going to have to save ourselves by, relearning how to be critical thinkers? The future of truth. It's not really in the hands of the programmers. It's in ours. The only question is, are we ready for that?